This is Becky Legiro, and I am here today with John Pappas of the PPA, the Poker Players Alliance. And John is here today to give us an update on what is happening in the United States with online poker regulation. So we'll start with everyone's favorite topic, the federal bill that we all want and are praying for. What's the latest?
Keep praying. Federal legislation on any subject matter, not just internet gaming, is very difficult this time. We have a very polarized Congress, and that polarization has really led to the inability of them doing much of anything. Now we have huge issues like Syria that are taking up a lot of the oxygen in the room, and where internet gaming, internet poker legislation fits in these larger debates about healthcare, Syria, immigration reform, probably pretty low on the priorities list. It's not to say that there aren't our advocates. We've got great members of Congress like Joe Barton, who's recently introduced legislation, a bill that we support, and we're going to kind of push for those bills. But I think we're doing it with the realistic expectation that at the federal level, it may be pretty tough sledding for the next little while, and that's why we're kind of diversifying our approach by looking at potential states as well.
Okay, so what are some of the states to watch then?
Obviously California is the big state in the U.S. that everyone would say kind of the crown jewel. What we've seen in California is kind of a slow movement towards bringing a bunch of different tribal interests together. So at one point there's about 20 tribes that offer gaming in California, and you had about 6 of them who cared about this and wanted it, 6 of them who were opposed to it, and another 6 to 8 who just didn't know or didn't care. And now we've really come to a point where about a dozen key tribes all recognize the opportunities provided for offering internet poker. So those tribes are now all on the same page with the idea. The actual vehicle is still yet to be decided, and I think early 2014, I would be very surprised if there wasn't a bill that went through the full process by end of January, middle of February 2014 in California. Other states to look at are Pennsylvania and New York, believe it or not. New York has got a ballot referendum in November for expanding casinos. Although everyone from the governor's office down recognizes that the revenue from casinos really isn't going to come and be realized for another 3 to 5 years with the building of the casinos, potential lawsuits, the licensing, all of that goes into building a brick and mortar property. The real revenue to the state's going to be many years down the road. We've come in and has talked to the governor and others about is that the immediate revenue that they could get from regulated internet gaming. And there is a real interest there, and we're hopeful that in the spring or the spring of next year when they come back into session, that there will be a budget bill that will include revenue from internet poker, and then we'll proceed throughout the summer to try to get a bill passed in New York.